Good morning, everyone. Good day for those for who it's already daytime. My name is Dat Serumpe, and I'm the product manager of the Flex.bi. And today will be the first of 3 webinars planned this week. Webinar about tips and tricks of using Flex.bi and working with it. In this webinar, we will try to give you some advice on combining different features of the product together and saving time with that. We will also cover basic functionality, but we'll include also specific options that you maybe haven't noticed in a product. Collection of the topics we will go through today will be based on our support questions we have been receiving from our customers all over the world, and also the knowledge that we've been working with the tool and just trying to show you maybe some easier ways to get the answers and set up things. Okay, so let's begin the webinar then. As the base camp for the webinar, I will use our documentation page, which is located in our web page. If you go to the documentation section. So this will be like a start of the journey, and also you can use it on a daily basis when you are looking for your answers. We have divided all the help page in different sections. So if you're looking for a particular answer, you can find it in by the heading, or there's also the search box that you can search the topics, and I will also use it today. So first of all, if we talk about the Flex.bi, then basically it is as it is a web-based application. So you can connect to it through the web browser. So logging in and accessing Flex.bi is the first topic. There are a couple ways how to do that. If you feel if you feel good to use the web browser and log in from there, you can use the login button on the right side here. Currently, I will use the demo account to show you some prepared already demo templates, and also to set up the account we'll be working today. But there is also a little trick you can use in your on a day-to-day basis, that you can create the link to the Flex.bi on your personal desktop or the Handle. So what you have to do, you can use the login link, copy it, and create the web link on the personal desktop of your Handle application. Well, yes, it's here. So you can call it like Flex.bi reports, and you can open it inline or open it. It will be in a Handle window, or you can open it in an external window. So I will set it up to be opened on a Handle window. So it creates the link on a personal desktop, so you can log in through it. Currently, I do not see it. Can you see it? No. Just let me check. Okay, for some reasons it didn't create the link. I'm not sure why, but well, you can try it on your own Hansworld. It should work correctly as I use it on my day-to-day work as well. So anyway, logging in into system. So today we will use the templates account and the demo account. You can also access it from the web page also after the webinar, and use it as a way to have some training and maybe have a look on some examples. So I will log in here. This is automatic login, so you will be logged in automatically if you try to do it. So after we log in, we see the overview of accounts. Currently, I have 2 accounts enabled with this login. I see the templates account where we have a lot of different ready-to-use templates you can adjust and use for your data. And there's also a webinar test account in which we will try to set up a ready-to-use Flex.bi dashboard, which will be ready at the end of this webinar. So if we go step by step, what we see here, the first part is users, which we will talk at the end of this session. And so if we talk about Flex.bi connection to Hansworld, then there are currently 2 ways how we can get data from Hansworld system. So the first one is importing standard registers. So it's register files that comes from Hansworld. They are exported and exported. They can be exported manually from the system, or they can be automatic HAL export that exports them and pushes them to the Flex.bi server in specific daytimes. About automatic export and import setup, we will cover this topic in a private server administration session, which is planned tomorrow. So if you are interested in this, that you can join our webinar tomorrow. So if we talk about one more new way of getting the data from Hansworld to Flex.bi, that is REST API connection. So in source data, currently for this account, there is already data uploaded. There is used the method of uploading the register files. And then is a Hansworld application, which is set up, and import is uploading those files. What we will do for this new account, for the webinar test account, we will try to set it up now with the data from the demo system. So as I already told before, then we will use this page as a help. So if we look here, then about source data, there are also documentations, a list of them. And the first one we see here is data export from Hansworld, how to do that and how to get it in a Flex.bi. You can also search for it up here in this box. So data export from Hansworld. Here is the same description that I will go through now. So if you want to come back to it, you can always find the answers here. But the most important things I wanted to emphasize about this part is first of all, when you are starting your work with the Flex.bi, you have to first decide what data you want to analyze. It's especially if you have been a Hansworld user for a longer period, you might have a big amount of data. So in business intelligence and analytics, it's quite rare that you analyzing all the data from 1998. So always try to choose and narrow the data amount that you want to import. This will make the work for Flex.bi easier, to get the answers for you much easier, and also will make your work easier and you don't want to upload everything up there. So secondly, before you start the data import, please see the list of supported registers. Yes, if we talk about integrations that currently Flex.bi has, here is the full list of integrations currently. So that is for the standard cloud version that we are talking about today. For private versions, of course, there can be several different integrations with any of the Hanselwald modules, but on the Flex.bi cloud that we are on today, there are those connections available. So it's Invoice Cube, which is based on the invoices. There's a Financials Cube for transactions, CRM Cube, quotations, and sales orders and job costing. Plus, there's a Stock Cube available also with in a 3.0 version, which is probably will be presented next week. We have the Stock Cube with also depreciations, good receipts, and item history cubes. So you can follow our webinar plan, and on news and 3.0 we will also talk more about stock and options that will be available there. So please note then which registers are currently supported, because many of the support questions are that you try to import some of the files that are not supported currently. Also, please note that there is also written here above that if you want to create any of cubes who share the data with the invoice with the same data field that invoices are using, for example, quotations, they use the same customers and they use the same objects, the same items. You have to also import the registers that are responsible for those things. Yes, you cannot only import quotations and then create everything. So if today we are planning to use that to create the data for invoices, and we'll see if we can create the financials, but just to not take too much time or spend too much time on that. There is also a documentation mentioned where you can export the data. So you can export it in a Hanselwald in two ways, so that there are two modules that you can use for that. So the data maintenance, the first one, and the integration is the second one. So the difference between them is that if we go to data maintenance module, then in exports we see register export. This means that you will be exporting whole register. Yes, if we look at the list that we have here, and if we need to export registers for the invoice cube, then we can start with the customer classes, for example. You write the full name of it, run the export, and create a place of create new folder where you will collect the data and name the file and save it. Okay, this currently exported all the contents of the customer class. There are two types of registers, as you already know. The ones are transactional ones, and the other ones are the simple registers. Like customer class and item class and object class, they are simple registers. So they are like adding some extra extra information about the transactional registers. Transactional registers are invoices, transactions, activities, quotations, orders. So they are like the main registers of the modules. So for the simple registers, it is okay to import it through the data maintenance and import all of it, because you need all of it, and it's usually not a big amount of data that you have there anyway. But for transactional registers, like invoices, what we would need now, it is suggested that you do not export all of it. So I suggest to use the integration module and use the exports that are available there. So it's registers for the period. So here you select the period that you need data for. Currently in this demo, there's most of the data for 2015 and 16, so I need only data from this year maybe. And then I select that I want only invoices and export them. But you have to run it separately for each register to have the separate file for it. Currently, what I'm showing you is the manual export. So manual export is something that is used when you maybe set up some demo account, you want to play with the data, you want to check something. Usually for installations, the automatic export is created with a HAL that does it automatically in once an hour or once per night, so you don't have to do it like this all the time. This is for occasions when you need a manual exporting. As we have received a lot of questions about it, this is the correct way of doing it. Also, the REST API connection that my colleague Otto will show at the end of this session is the much simpler option, so you connect to the Hansword database only by one link. So this is for the manual setup only. Okay, so currently I'm then importing those invoices. Also, one more thing, I name the files after the registers. So it is much easier for you to work with files afterwards if you name them that you can recognize them. If you name them in some weird ways that it's hard for you to remember next time what was there, then it's harder for you in a case that you might need to maybe replace it or to open the file and have a look if any record that you are looking for is there. So name it in a way that you can find it and then you can recognize what register it is. And if it's for the period, I also suggest you to put the period there, what I will do now as well. Also, to create the invoice cube, I need a couple of more registers, so I will quickly just export them to the database maintenance. So it's base currency block. This is the setting that tells the Flex.bi what currencies are you having. So without it, it's not possible to create, import the data and just to start to do anything. Also, we need users, which will be a user receipt. And invoice balances we will not import today, but basically if you want, you can import also the open invoice balances for your invoices and create reports based on that. So invoices I already exported. I will go next to the item groups. Items. It's not case sensitive, so you don't have to be afraid about that. But thing you have to be afraid of a little bit is that you write the wrong name of the register. In a case you write the wrong name of the register, the files will be empty. So it sometimes happens that you import it, upload in a Flex.bi, and then you say why it's not there, because you just have misspelled the name of the register. Okay, the customers are the next ones. And yes, it takes a bit more longer time than I have planned, but well, we're nearly there. So the last one is item class. Okay, now we have exported the files, so they should be on our folder that we created. So just to check if they all have the contents, I will go to the folder and have a look. So it's this folder we're looking at. So if we go through all the files, all of them should have the content. Yes, they are standard Hanswald registers. All of them have the heading line, and all of them have the contents. So this is that defines the format of the file. For the different versions, there can be some difference in this top line. If you have any problems importing and working with different versions, just note that all over the world there are many versions of the Hanswald products. Just contact us if you in some cases have any errors importing or any issues with that. Just check when you have done the export that that all contents are there. This is a file. If you have the file which has no contents, you can. If you know, for example, that you're not using the customer classes, if you're not using the item classes, just do not export that register, and it will still be possible to create the data cube. So the register which is essential for the invoice cube is only base currency and invoices. The rest of them is optional if you are using them. I will import all of the invoices now, so we have the more of the data. Okay, so the data is basically prepared. The same thing if you forget something and want to find out later on how you have to do it, just go through our documentation and you will just search the topic of exporting data here, and you will find the topic of exporting data from Hanswald. So the next thing that we are yes, as I already mentioned, that it's important if you have a bigger data in your system, divide it into periods. So try to have the one file for the historical data that you maybe will not ever touch and never will change. And if you have the current updates or current months or current weeks, try to divide it in smaller parts. So when you have then created those files, you have to upload them up here. So find the folder you exported the data to, and upload them one by one. As you see, under the file, the Hansworld sign is shown. It means that it's recognized as a Hansworld file format and it's supported. If there is no Hansworld sign under it, it means that whether there's a problem with the file format, that also can be sometimes with different versions of the product, or this register is not currently in the list of supported ones on the cloud version. Okay, if you are interested in creating some, or maybe your customer is interested, or you want to create some integration for your own company, for some other modules, for some other registers, you can do it in a private version, not in a cloud version, as the cloud version is we are not adding not standard things. But for the private version, for private license holders, you can create integrations with all the possible modules and registers that you can imagine, whether it's budgets, or maybe you have the restaurant module, or maybe you have some specific things in the stock you want to adjust it. You can customize it and create it as you need it for your company. Okay, when you upload the files, and if they all are recognized, it means that you have prepared the good data, and there shouldn't be problems with that. So okay, doesn't. Just a second. I think I've done the mistake that I was talking about before. So the currency block file is empty currently. So it means that I have misspelled the name. So I will just go back to the export help page. Look at the register list and copy it from here, so I do not do the mistake again. So I go to database maintenance again, and export it. So you see, that's how you can also recognize that you have done something not so good as it was planned, as I did today. Maybe not the best occasion to do that. So I will just delete the file from here and try to upload the newest one. So this one looks like it has content. Yes, it looks much better. So now what we have to do, we have to upload the data. So what we have to do for it, in a case if we are doing it manually like this, we have to set up Hansworld application. So Hansworld application means that we have to choose that we will be importing data from Hansworld. Here we can tick what data we are planning to import. We are planning to import invoices, and we are planning to import also some object types. It means that we can we can choose them down here. All of the types that we see here are coming from the data. So in a moment when you upload the files or you connect to the database or they are placed there automatically with the hull, Hansworld application sees the data content and it shows here the options you can choose from. So I will choose a couple of the object types, and also customer classes are here for you to choose, and item classes if they are not present in this current demo. So you press the import and the import starts. When you go to the source tab, you see that the progress is quite quick, so we should have the data in a couple of minutes. So their invoice is still importing, but they shouldn't finish. Yes, it's finished now. So here you see the progress that it has been done. It's been imported less than a minute ago. The base currencies, customer classes, these are the names of the things that has been imported and the number of them. It says that the Hansaworld cube of invoices is the location where you can find them. So these are like cubes in a Flex.bi are like modules in a Hansaworld. So they are different for each part of the data. So Hansaworld invoices is the one based on invoice data, and as we imported only that, then it was placed in this data cube. Here we see that it was uploaded less than a minute ago, and the size also of the file. Here at the bottom of the page also there's option that you can upload Excel and CSV files. That is basically used for adding some additional data on the top of a Hansaworld. On the webinar of which will be on Thursday about profit and loss and budget importing, I will show how to import some additional information for your financial data, like budget. We will practice on that. So if you have any other data that you would like to add on the top of your maybe sales or maybe anything else, any other data field, if you have any ideas that you would need it, you can watch the webinar about budget import and see the practice how it's happening. Okay. So currently, after the import is finished, Hansaworld application shows that it's imported less than a minute ago, also here. What has happened? So Hansaworld invoices cube is created here. So here's the list of the data cubes. As we ticked only one of them, so we ticked only the box of Hansaworld invoices, the only one of them was created. In the Hansaworld application, we also import a couple of like ready templates. It's optional for you to tick during the import process. It means that it creates some of our templates, like this is just a sample one, but when you will be setting up your account, it offers to import up to 13 of the templates that are ready for use for you. If we look at this Analyze tab, then here we can also delete the contents of it if we want to change something. So this is there are several different buttons. The empty will, if you press the empty one, it will delete all the data, but it will not delete the reports. Yes, so if you want to if you have created a lot of the reports, but you want to empty only the data and replace it with a different one, or maybe there's some adjustments, then you have to use the empty button. If you will press the delete button, it will delete all of the cubes. So it means that you have to import everything again, and it will also delete all of the reports that you will have in your account. So in cases when you have to delete the cube, there can be some occasions like that. You need to back up your reports. So you can do it by exporting reports. Here we will work also with this function now when we will import some templates. So basically what it does, it exports all the reports that you have, and then when you are ready and you have built the data environment again, you just copy paste the definitions here, and it will be all created for you again. Okay, so you don't forget to do that in a case you'd have to delete the cube. Also, there are several ways of transferring changes that you do in Hansaworld to Flex.bi. If you like, Flex.bi only creates records for the data that you import. It means that if you update some record, it will update the data also in the Flex.bi. But if you need to delete some data, it means that you have to delete the cube and then re-import the data, because Flex.bi cannot delete any of that data during the import. It can only update or add the new one. So that delete button, which is here next to the cube, like empty button, it can be useful in those cases when you have updated the Hansaworld data and you need to like remove some records from there. Then you have to delete the data from there. Yes, we a little bit missed the basic concept. So because I already started talking about that. So if you have any more questions about the basic concept of the Flex.bi and what is the data cube, what is dimension, how does it work together, so you can have a look at this page. But there are, like, if we look at the each cube separately, that there are dimensions that creates it, like product, time, and customers. The measures are stored here in the middle. So actually what we see here, if we open the data cube, it's all the dimensions are here, and combining them together shows the result of the one cell that we have here. Measures is the dimension who stores the values. The rest is only filters. So customers, item classes, objects, it's all only filters. Measures is the dimension that all the values are actually stored in. So values that come from the Hansaworld are divided in parts. So it's there are invoice level items, item level items. There's also more specific documentation about what's the difference between them. But basically, what it is, there are characteristics of the quotations, invoices in general, like the total of the invoice or total of the quotation. But there are also measures of the item level, which is a level of each line of the record. So this is about the line, and this is about all of the record. Also, if we turn to basic concepts, that each of dimensions has the hierarchies. So we have all customers, and then we, like in Hansaworld, we have groups, and maybe if they are objects, then there are object types, and then there are specific objects. So it's all based on the hierarchy. The same works with the time. Time is also divided in different hierarchies. So year, there are currently 2 of them. One is based on year, quarter, months, and day, and the second one is year, week, and day. You can also create your own with the fiscal years. When you do that, you have to select which is the beginning of your fiscal year, and it creates the hierarchy based on the fiscal years. Also about the basic concepts, all of dimensions that we see here and that have been created, all the filters that we see here and the measures, those ones are the static ones. is the ones that are created from the invoice is always the same. Here, down here, we see the dynamic dimensions. So those are the ones we selected before in the drop-down menu when the Hanselot's source import was starting. So these are the ones that come straight from your data. So if you have the customer class bus and if you have the customer class lead, they are dynamically created here during the import, and all of them can be used and combined as filters together with the rest of the data that comes from Hanselot. Also, we support base values in a base currency and without the base currency. If you can choose which one you need to use. Then about basic concepts, if you have some more questions, you can go to this page and have a look and find more answer there. Yes, next thing is the template library. Template library is something that we created recently. So basically, it gives you the chance to create and set up your account from the ready templates that you can choose from. If you go to the template library section, then here is the list also of the reports that you can choose from. There are ready templates for invoices, CRM, financials. Basically, all you have to just take them definition and set them up. So we will do it also now. So when I go back to the home menu, I have two accounts enabled. So one is the one we are working with and we have imported the data to, and the other one is a templates account. You can also go there straight from the documentation. It will take you to the same place. I would like to import some invoice templates as I have the sales data. When you go to this section, this is where there's a big list of many reports that are available for you to use as the starting points. The thing I want to talk about before we start to set up reports is that you don't have to import lot of reports. You have to choose only those ones who are flexible enough to fit as much questions that you might have working with the Flex.bi. So if you have questions about your salespersons, you don't have, it's much easier if you have a couple of reports about the salespersons and then you combine it together and work with one report. Then you just create a big detailed lists on your screen that already are ready, because it will not be easy for you to work with them. As we suggested, it's you choose the reports that are flexible enough to suit more needs of you or your customer. So you like this one, it shows like some measure changing over the time. In this case, it's item quantity, gross profit, and item base amount. But up here, there are many filters that you can use. So it means that it can also be useful if you're analyzing some specific salesperson. So it will not be like only all company overview, but you can also see specific salesperson results here. Also, it can be useful if you're looking at the specific customer group. Yes, only customers, for example, and you can also combine it together with the salesperson. So more filters you put up here is more flexible that report is for you. So of course you could make 5 of them with the one for customers and one for salesperson, but it just takes more place. So try to put in the one report as much as you can. If we look at this report, and I think that would be a good idea, we add it on our data also. So I can press on the name as I did before. I'll open it up, and here I see how it's built. The building reports is very simple. It's dragging and dropping dimensions. Yes, when you drag and drop it, it appears here, appears in the columns, or appears in in the rows or in pages. Pages here, it means that it's filters that are placed above the report. Yes, if you put it in pages, it means that it will be the things that you can play later on and change them. In this case, there are many dimensions already here. So if I would love to, I can add also my customer classes and my objects here. Yes, and then I can combine them together later on, and it will be very flexible for me. Basically, it will show anything I would be interested in, any combinations or changing over the time. So yes, also here we see that there are ways of changing the report out appearance. So you can have a look yourself how does it look like each of the charts. You can just switch them up here with the tabs. Many options are available here to combine show labels, not show labels. Many interesting options, or relative size in pie chart matters. Also the timeline chart. Like here you see you can also combine together different types of charts because you can choose for each measure how it will be displayed. So for gross profit, it can be any color I want, and it can be different type. If I want it to be line, it can be also line, and I can put maybe some other things here that I would like to change. So with this, I want to show you that report that you have here in the template is not it's not something that is in a rock, and you cannot change it. You can always adjust it as you need it. If you want, you can maybe import it and afterwards remove some columns. Yes, just by one click. And if you need not last 24 months, or you need always the 12 months, you will just simply select it. So if you're looking at the templates database, you have to choose the report that looks something that functionality wise is interesting for you, and maybe you can change some things and adjust it and use it for yourself. If we go through the report types that we have here, here's a timeline chart. As I already showed, there are options to combine different types of the graphs. Try to put as much filters as you can and as they make sense above the charts. Also, there's option to always view the report in a table mode. When you build the reports, whether you're taking them from the templates or you're building them on your own, try to keep in mind also that there are drill-in options. These reports are not static. As I said, you can play with the filters up here. That's one option. Then there's like timeline chart has an option to also zoom at it. You can switch to the chart mode, to the table mode. There is also option that you can drill into the data more precisely. If I'm looking at the June, yes. If also you can get full list of the contents of the records that are coming from the system. You can export them to Excel also if you need some more specific analytics, and maybe if you're looking for some bugs, which is quite often used for the financials. When you are looking for transactions that maybe have been okayed not correctly. So drill through and drill across is also one interesting function. Like in this case, I have the gauge charts showing the targets of the salesperson. What I could do, I could ask the question, what was this salesperson making the profit on? Like which item was it? So I can drill across and see which was the list of the items he was making the profit on. Also, I can change the period. I want to maybe see the total of this quarter, and maybe I see it this way. And I'm very interested in this particular value, and I want to see for which customer I sold it to. So I see the list of the customers, and when if this was the answer I was looking for, I can also export it to the results to the Excel straight away and send it maybe to my colleague that I was finding the answer for. So basically, these reports are only like starting point where you where you try to get the answers. Don't try to build them very complex and very detailed overviews, so it will just be harder for you to find out which data is about what topics that you wanted to see in your dashboard. So now if I try to transfer those reports to my account, all I have to do is export the definition. So I pressed on the name of the report up here. I copy the content, and what I do, I go to, leave this one open, and I will go to the home of view of accounts, and this is place I want to import the report to. I go to the analyze term and import the report here. Okay, it shows me that my report was successfully imported, and it shows me that it's here. So basically it works the same way with all of the reports. You copy them definition and then you import it and reports are created. Only thing you have to keep in mind, in case you import the report and it doesn't show you any results, it might be that in this period your current database doesn't have the data. Like in this case, if I would import the preset report that says that I will show the data only for this month, in my database it will not show any results. So don't be scared of it. Just try to have a look that maybe you have to remove some filters that has been set, and maybe the data is specific for it. Yes, so just have a look, and the rest, everything is adjustable by you, and you can change it. If you have any questions about this, you can always contact us and we'll try to help you also. Okay, so we have imported this report. What I will try to also maybe take one more report. I will take the report of discount overview. What we see here are also measures that has been created on the top of the Hansel data, like increase and discount from turnover, which are already calculations from the data comes from the Hansel. How it's done? It's done by the calculations similar to the Excel. So if you look at the measures, when they all are stored, there are different measures that come from the invoices. There are some properties about customers, like customer city, classification, something that comes from the customer contact card. Like, as we all know, Hansel has a lot of data it's collecting, and there are many fields you can find here. So what is done by the calculated members is that it's in a user-defined section, you can create your own ones, which is calculations like with the formulas in Excel. Increase is calculated if you by minusing the turnover of the current period and the previous period. It's nothing complicated. About calculated members, there's also a lot of functions that you can use, but calculated members is a separate topic that we will not go into today, as it's quite detailed. We have to go into. But the main thing is that you can use it by pressing the buttons on the right side, like if I would choose the item base amount and divide it by item quantity, I would get the average price of item. Yes, and average price of item I create or any other measure I can imagine, and you can add it to your report straight away. When you create them, then also you can go to the next level and use the measure that you have already created, that average price item. You can take something off or add something on. Also, you can add here many filters of different specific dimensions, like only the average item price for the specific item group, or maybe some other specific filters that you need for that you have in your data and you're looking answer about. So this is the place to do that. As we see here, there are already a couple of them done. I will just what we wanted to do is to export one more report, because I wanted to show how to build a dashboard. So what I will do, I will export this report and import one more here in Analyze Tube. It shows me that the calculated members have been created. Those are the ones who are with the formula. Okay, now we see that it's here. What is dashboard? Dashboard is the thing that you actually are working with, as a dashboard is a collection of the reports that you use on a day-to-day basis. To create a dashboard, you just select the reports that you have already ready in your system. So you combine them together, put one on the right, one on the left, and say, yes, there has to be also a name. I will call it Manager's Dashboard. Okay, so this will be my starting points. Basically, from those two reports, I can get a lot of information, and as I already showed, combining filters together, and also selecting maybe multiple results, like more than one salesperson or more than one item. You can dynamically play with them and get the many answers, even from those two reports. So you don't try to make many reports. Try to make them universal. Try to make them useful in more than one occasion. So, if we talked about the time dimension, as I showed already, there is option to filter the time to show results only for the recent periods, like 24 months or 12 months. Also, fiscal hierarchies can be created here, as I already showed you. So the fiscal years, by defining with which months you would like to start your fiscal year with. Also, there's an interesting thing here, that Flex.bi imports records, and it has the date only for it has the data only for the time that you have the it stores the data only for the time that you have the data for. So currently, if we look at the May, then for the May there are all days but there can be that there's some dates missing. If you don't, like for example, weekdays, if you haven't had any records in those dates, so there can be dates that are missing. We quite often receive those questions that I wanted to show. There is an button called Add Time Members to the date range, and where you can select for which period you want to add the data for. And it is also useful when you are working with the future trends. So you need to create the future dates that you don't have any data for. So this is a place where to create the missing time members. So this will create those members in the future. Okay, so we have the manager's dashboard here. I'll just quickly have a look what else we haven't talked about reports. Are there any questions currently? Okay. If you have your questions, you are very welcome to write them down in a questions box, and we will answer them at the end. After Otto my colleague Otto will show the REST API connection. So one more important thing I wanted to talk about is the user roles. User roles can be different. If we look at the user roles here, then each of the user is having next to his email address has the role he is he has been given. Yes, owner can be only one. So if you are administrator of your account, then you will be the owner. User admin should be the person who is responsible enough to add users of your any of your company. Usually it's a super admin or super user who is aware of all the accounts and knows and what's happening and can help others as well. Data admin should be the person who is aware of your imports and aware of the process, how the imports are going on, because the data admin is the only one who will see the source data tab here. If you do not have the permission to view any of the content, if it will be limited by your user, you will not see the option here. Like for this account, I do not have the permission to see the users. Yes, I am a data admin, so it means I can see the data, but I cannot add any other users. So it can be limited by user what options he will be able to do. Here on the right side also you see the recent activity of the users. If you have the data admin or the if you have the data admin or the user admin roles, yes, other ones will not see it. But if you set someone to even be the dashboard viewer, which means that they will be able to see only the dashboards, they will not see analyze, like they will not see all of the reports that you have in here. They will see only the dashboard. Yes, like in this case, the manager's dashboard that we wanted to that we just created. So if you want to share it only with one person, here they will also see when the clock sign is when the last import was performed and when it was done. So they don't, even if they don't have the permission to see the source data, they will be able to know when it's updated. Also, if we talk about the user roles, there are users that are you might believe that you don't want to access all of the account. So what you can use for it, you can use the option to schedule the table. This dashboard will be emailed to them at 9:30 every morning, for example. Yes, so they will receive it only this dashboard in a PDF in the email. Also, the time zones can be set there. So yes, that's about user roles. User roles will have the separate documentation also soon. And now I'll give the word to my colleague Otto, who will show the REST API connection, which means that basically we really would like to skip those file exports and imports and connect straight to the Hansa World applications straight. And in 8 starting from 8.2 version, that is also possible to connect to and import data from the server. That has benefits, but the file importing and exporting system still will be used for more specific data and more for maybe big data connections for some reasons that cannot be solved with REST API. But REST API is a much easier option and very easy option. We are happy to show you, and will be available in Flex.bi cloud in a very, very close future. So I give a word to my colleague Otto to show how the connection is set up.
Okay then, my name is Otto Steinbaums. I'm one of the Flex.bi programmers, and I'm also a member of the support staff we have over here. I'm going to tell you a little bit about REST API. So what is REST API? Essentially, it allows you to directly connect to your Hansa World server and upload all of the data directly into Flex.bi. No need to muck around with all of that manual exporting and importing you saw Datsa do earlier, which took around a few minutes. So I will demonstrate to you how this is done. Currently it's not available publicly, so I'm going to show it to you on one of our own test servers. Let me just log in here. There we go. Here we have a demo account set up especially for this purpose. And as you can see here, I'm going to go into the source applications. You see there's nothing here. There's also nothing in the source files tabs. And it's going to stay exactly the same way when we add a new source application just for REST API. And the way we're going to do this, and the way we have this set up, is you select the source application as Hansa World, because that's where we're going to get all the data from, and we press create. This window will open. Currently it looks a bit rough around the edges, but all we need to do here is just add a link. This link right here. What this link consists of is the public host name of your server, the port your server runs on, and a link to the Web Data API HAL file, which will allow you to import data straight into Flex.bi. Without this, the REST API connection will not be possible. And we're carrying on to the next screen. It appears that the server currently is offline. Let me quickly turn it back on. Ay, ay, ay. Let's attempt that again.
Yeah, it's the first time we're showing this option, so sorry for that. The test server.
So here we go. This screen should look familiar to you. But you can see a few additions. You will be able to select the company you want to export the data from and a start import from data field in which you will enter the date from which you wish to import all of your data into Flex.bi. But if you leave this field empty, it will just import the data that has been created 365 days from now. So we will enter 2016-01-01, which is January 1st of this year, and we will import invoices. We will select a few object types. As you can see here, it already has given us the option to select these without needing to import any of the files that have object types or customer classes in them. And we will press import. As you can see right now, it is importing. We will go over to the source files tab. As you can still see, there is nothing in there. No need to upload any files, and the import is done. Let's go over to the Analyze tab, and we can see a cube has been created with all of these new precious little reports we can view. We're going to look at the sales KPIs in time period, and as we can see here, we have data. It's not a lot of data because it's one of our test servers, but as we can still see, there is data here without needing to upload any of the files manually.
Great.
That's pretty much all you need to know about REST API.
Okay, thank you, Otto. We will come back to REST API connection on the webinar, which will be probably this month about the news in the version 3.2, which will be released next week and will include also the REST API connection support, available on the Flex.bi cloud and also for all the private versions. And hopefully this option will make your and our life much easier in the future and give the options for much quicker setups of accounts. And we are very happy and also thankful for Hansewood helping us with that and being very supportive with the new features built in already in a 8.2 version, supporting Flex.bi and making those connections possible. Thank you for your time, and thank you for being part of this webinar. Tomorrow we will continue with the Flex.bi private server administration, which will be presented by my colleagues Sevs and Yanis. They will more talk about the server administration tools, how to set up several threads for imports, how to set up, how to deal with the big data management, how to also set up automatic imports and exports, and different topics that are connected specifically with the private server setup. And on the Thursday, we will continue with the financials theme about profit and loss and the budget import, which I already mentioned. Might be interested also for those who want to add some additional data from the CSV or XLS files. So that will cover also external data and adding. Thank you for your time, and visit the Flex.bi to find out about the pricing. If you have any questions about the documentation parts or any suggestions that maybe what should be added, also webinar links for the participation can be found on our documentation page. So you can go and find them tomorrow or on Thursday straight from here. Thank you for your time, and have a great day today. Thank you.